hunting season. First, chill. Here I want to kill a rabbit. Yes. First I have to chase. I have to follow the rabbit. Yes, I got it. Yes. Now I'm going to shoot. Yes. That is called hunting. And this is all about our first chapter, that is The Hunt by Annie Sewell. What is the hunt? Let's talk about it. Hunting basically, it's a pursue or chase and kill animals for sport or food. This chapter, The Hunt, is extracted from a novel Black Beauty. Black Beauty is also, it is a novel written by Annie Sewell, and The Hunt is an extracted part from this novel. An imaginative story this is, and this chapter expresses a tribute to animals, right? Annie Sewell, she is an English author, daughter of Mary Wright Sewell. Mary Wright Sewell, she's also a writer. Annie Sewell went to school at 12. Generally, we start our school at 3 or 4. But why she has started her school at 12? Because of her financial constraints or problems, we can say. She was not able to go to school just because of financial problems. But after 2 years, at 14, when she was 14 years old, she badly injured her foot ankle. So she was not able to walk even, and frequently used horse-drawn carriages. So she was using carriages, horse carriages होते हैं ना जो buggy type पे, तो वो ये use करती थी so that she can go to market to buy something, or if she wanted to go somewhere, she used horse-drawn carriages. Now this was all about Annie Sewell. Now, before going to start the story, let's talk about all the characters here. Here I have listed some characters. Black Beauty, the main character of the story. The name of the Black Beauty, this is a horse. The name of the horse is Darky. Although it is not mentioned in the story, the name is not mentioned in your chapter basically. I have read the novel Black Beauty, that's why I have written here the name Darky so that you can come to know. Darky's mother. Darky was a horse, and this horse is describing the story. I told you that this is an imaginative story because a horse cannot describe a story, right? So this is an imagination only, and the incident when he was 2 years old, and there is one another character, that is his mother, Darky's mother, that is Duchess, and colts, young horses, less than 4 years. Old horse was also there. Rob Roy, it is also a horse. Rob Roy's master, who take cares of Rob Roy, gives food, everything he can do for Rob Roy. So Rob Roy's master, George Gordon, and George Gordon's father was there also, and he was Squire Gordon. Squire, it means landlord. Here there was a kind of rabbit, hounds, hunting dogs are there in the story, some men in green coats, and there are some men who are wearing green coats. So these are the characters. What is the story? Let's talk about in brief. Yes, the story begins when the Black Beauty, means the narrator or the horse, was of 2 years only. Suppose there is the meadows, grassland. This is the lower part of the meadows, and here the upper part of the meadows. There were some wheat fields, and there was also a stream, a river. Okay, so what happened? Black Beauty and his mother and some colts and old horse. These four were standing in the lower part of the meadows, and Rob Roy, his master, and there were some other horses also with their masters. They were chasing the hounds, and hounds were the dogs, hunting dogs. They were chasing hounds, and hounds were chasing hare. So the main target was hare. They wanted to catch hare, a rabbit, a kind of rabbit. So what is it? Basically, there was a hare, the hunt, and they wanted to hunt this rabbit. Who wanted to hunt? Rob Roy's master and some men. They wanted to hunt. Even the dogs were also chasing the hare. They also wanted to hunt. That's it. They all want only this hare. I hope you got it. Now, you after reading the chapter, you will come to know that whether they will got their target or not, or if they, and who will get the hare, hounds or horses with their masters. Okay, now let's start the story. I have divided your story, the chapter, into 5 parts, and for every part I have given vocabulary and some questions. After completing the chapter, you have to tell me the questions that I had written before the particular part. So let's start the vocabulary for the first part. Coursing, the sport of hunting game. You can see in the picture also here a man riding horse and hounds. Dogs are also chasing a rabbit, and man also wanted that rabbit. This is known as coursing. Got it? Hare coursing. That's the thing. Circumstance, incident, woods, bunch of trees, meadows, grasslands, course, young horses, pricked, pointed towards, किसी की तरफ particular देखना, ध्यान देना. Hounds, hunting dogs, I already explained. Cantered, run away, भाग जाना. Now, time for questions. You have to answer these questions after reading the first part. And the questions are: who is the narrator? What was the age of the narrator when the incident happened? Although I have described all the characters, so you should know who is the narrator. Right? Let's start the chapter now. Have you heard of hare coursing, hare racing, or hunting like? It is a sport in which hares are chased by dogs. I already explained through the character list that it is a sport which hares are chased by dogs and then hunted by men. Dogs were chasing hare, and finally hare was hunted by men riding on the horsebacks. The men who were riding horse. Do you think it is a good to kill just for fun? Read this story about the sport. How they hunted the hare, how the men had hunted the hen. Yes, so after completing the story, you have to tell, is it a good or not? Let's start. Before I was 2 years old. So I refers to the narrator. Narrator is Black Beauty, the horse, Darky. Before I was 2 years old, a circumstance happened which I have never forgotten. There was an incident happened with the narrator, the horse, that he could not forget. It was early in the spring. The season was spring. There had been a little frost in the night, and a light mist still hung over the woods and meadows. The other colts and I were feeding at the lower part of the field when we heard, quite in the distance, What sounded like the cry of dogs? The oldest of the colts raised his head, pricked his ears, and said, "There are hounds," and immediately cantered. What happened? Colts and some horses, they were standing on the lower part of the meadows, and suddenly they heard the sound. There was frost in the night and mist was hung over the trees, meadows. Suddenly, when colts and the narrator feeding at the lower part of the ground, they heard sound, and the oldest one raised his head and pricked his ear, tried to understand, tried to notice, tried to get the things, and said, "There are hounds, there are dogs, hunting dogs." Let's come to the next part. Before that, let's have the vocabulary. Hedge, a fence or boundary. Howl, to make loud sound. Whine, distress cry, dukh mein rona. Galloping, running at full speed, bhag jana. Snorter, forced breathe from the nostrils with loud sound. होता ना, कई बार कहते खर्राटे लेना. That is known as snorted. Someone has snorted. Brook, a small river. Now, time for the question. Earlier I have asked 2 questions for the first part. Now for the second part, I have only 1 question and you have to answer. Why did the oldest of the colts raise his head and prick his ear? Yes, you know very well. Cantered off, followed by the rest of us to the upper part of the field, where we could look over the hedge and see several fields beyond. My mother and an old riding horse of our masters were also standing near and seemed to know all about it. As we in the first part that we read that they heard sounds, right? Colts heard sound, and finally they come to know that the sound is of hounds, dogs, hunting dogs. And then they moved to the upper part of the meadows, grasslands, and then they looked here and there, everywhere, and with them narrator's mother, means the Black Beauty's mother, and old riding horse were also standing there. "They have found a hare," said my mother, "and if they come this way, we shall see the hunt." Black Beauty's mother said, "The dog, they are finding the hare, a kind of rabbit. If they'll come this way, इस रास्ते वो आते हैं, वो dogs अगर आते हैं इस रास्ते, for sure we'll see the hunt. A kind of hunting we will see there." And soon the dogs were all tearing down the fields of young wheat next to ours. I have never heard such a noise as they made. They did not bark, nor howl, nor whine, but kept on a yo-yo, oh-oh, yo-yo, oh-oh at the top of their voices. They were speaking as much high as they can. After them came a number of men on horseback, some of them in green coats, all galloping as fast as they could. The old horse snorted. Horse were snorting, making noise like neigh, neigh, like this, and looked eagerly after them. And we young colts wanted to be galloping with them, running with them, but they were soon away into the fields lower down. Here it seemed as if they had come to a stand. The dogs left off barking and ran about every way with their noses to the ground. They wanted to smell. So what we have read in this stanza, that when the mother was saying that we will see the hunt, after that they soon found the dogs there. They were coming through the fields and they were looking for the hare. After that everything was quiet. The dogs were not barking, not howling, not whining. ना वो रो रहे थे, चिल्ला रहे थे, ना वो bark कर रहे थे. सिर्फ yo yo, oh oh, they were doing all these things. And what happened after that? Behind the hounds, there were some men. Some of them were wearing green coats. Green coat पहना होता कुछ ने तो. They were chasing the hounds. Earlier, his mother, Black Beauty's mother and old horse, he found that there were some dogs, and the dogs were finding here. But now they have seen some horses are also there with men, and they are also galloping, they are also running very fast. And then they went to the lower part. Who went? Here, dogs and horses. They went to the lower part of the meadows. And at that time, the dogs left off barking. They were just calmed down, ran about everywhere. हर जगह पे वो भाग रहे थे, with their noses to the ground. They were just smelling. They were looking for the hunt, hare, rabbit. They have lost the scent, said the old horse. Perhaps the hare will get off. They were thinking that the old horse and mother, they were thinking that maybe the dogs have lost their scent, smell, couldn't able to find their target. What here? I said, now Black Beauty was asking. Everything has happened, and now Black Beauty was asking what happened. Actually, he was only 2 years old now. That's why he was not able to watch everything. So that's why he was asking now, what here? कौन सा क्या here? कौन सा rabbit? Oh, I don't know what here. Likely enough, it may be one of our own hares out of the woods. Any hare they can find will do for the dogs and men to run after, and before long the dogs begin their yo-yo, oh-oh, again and back they came all together at full speed, making straight for our meadow at the part where the high bank and hedge overhang the brook. Still they were talking about the hare. Narrator was asking where, what hare, and then someone has told that they can find any hare the hare can be from our woods, our jungle, from our bunch of trees, or from anywhere. That doesn't matter for dogs and men. They just run after, they wanted to catch only. And then the dogs again started their voice, yo-yo, oh-oh, and then they all, means men on the horses and dogs, they also started running away, and they just made their way to the brook, a river.